Hello, hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this BrowserStack webinar with us. Automate website QA with no code. It's going to be an interesting session, and we're thankful for all of you to attend this session. A little bit about the housekeeping items. The session is going to run for 60 minutes. All the participants will be muted so that we can present with clarity. And we'll spend dedicated 15 minutes towards the end of the session on Q&A. That being said, you can continue to ask your questions. You will see a Q&A box on your screens. You can just go ahead and type your questions on that. We have our team on standby. They'll continue to answer your questions in the chat. Some of these questions, we'll go ahead and pick them towards the end of the session and try to cover them. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want about the session today. The session is being recorded. The recordings are going to be shared with all of you. And just talking about the agenda today, the session, as you know, is about automating website QA with no code. To establish the context, we'll first talk about website operations at BrowserStack. This is where most of our learnings have stemmed from. Then we'll talk about importance of website quality. It's obvious why website quality is important, but just so that all of us are on the same page, we'll try to establish that as well. We'll talk about why manual checks don't scale. We see a lot of teams using manual tools, or they're using some free checkers, some single issue checkers, right? We'll talk about why they don't scale as the changes on your website scale. We'll then talk about automating website QA with no code. We'll also demo a solution that we have been building for this at BrowserStack. And then we'll spend the last 15 minutes on Q&A. Now, just introducing ourselves, I'm Shantanu. I lead product growth for the new products at BrowserStack. My responsibilities really include making our audience or our community of developers aware about what we are building, what's in store, what's coming up in the future. Quite recently, I've been working with Vivek on this new solution that we have been building for no-code website scans. Vivek, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Vivek, and I'm working as a principal product manager at BrowserStack. And I currently own the product called the Website Scanner, so which we're going to talk about in this current session.
Awesome. So I think Vivek, as we get started, right? It would be interesting, and what I would like to point out for our audience as well, that Vivek, in his previous role at BrowserStack, was looking at our website experience. So he was leading a team there. He was looking at how we sort of build our workflows to deploy changes on our website, and how we manage our growth experiments as well. So Vivek, just to establish the context, right, where our learnings are really stemming from about automating website QA with no code, could you just share a little bit about BrowserStack, our website, what is the process we follow, what's our traffic like, all of that?
Right. So for the past couple of years, right, in BrowserStack, I've been owning the BrowserStack.com website experience. And so our site currently, it spans thousands of pages. We have like around 6,000 pages on a website, and we get around 7 million plus page views monthly. Right? And we work with a distributed team of developers, marketers, and designers, and we are constantly shipping updates. And yeah.
Got it. And a little bit about the process as well, right, Vivek? What's the process that we usually follow when we are trying to make these changes happen on our website? I think that would help as well.
Right. Yeah. So to maintain quality at this scale, right, we follow a very structured dev and QA process. So any requirement that is coming from marketing first goes to development, and the developers make their changes, they create components, and they integrate it with the CMS. And after the component is developed, it goes through a rigorous quality assurance process. And once that is done, the component is pushed to production. And any changes that have been done to the content of the website as well go through the same quality assurance process before it hits production. So, we do like regular code reviews. We have automated tests for some very critical pages, and we also have regular accessibility, SEO, and performance audits, right? But even at this, even after having all these kinds of checks, right, with the sheer volume that we operate at, it becomes very hard sometimes to catch regressions early, especially for issues that go beyond just simple functionality, right? Like if there has been like a small layout shift, or if there has been a broken link that got crept into our production, or if there are any content mismatches. So these kinds of issues are generally very hard to catch early.
Got it. And also, like, given again, we have multiple products, multiple teams. Every team is coming up with their own experiments, their own changes that they want to deploy, right? And so that really adds to the volume of changes that are going live on our website, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think now, just to establish, right, Vivek, you made a good segue into why all of this is important. It's obvious, more or less, why website quality is important and how it could hamper experience. But just just to establish some context there, why does this really matter? Why does it really matter to have your website spick and span, and how does it affect your customer experience?
Yeah, the website experience, the quality of your website is very important because it directly impacts the brand perception, right? It directly impacts your brand perception. It impacts your SEO, and it can also impact your conversions. So a simple broken CTA, or let's say a customer notices a layout issue on a mobile, or if a page is slow to load. So even simple issues like this, they can cost you a customer, right? So that is the reason why it is very important to make sure that your website QA is top notch.
And again, maybe just sort of diving a little bit into this as well, Vivek, like, do you see some common issues, some issues that you've seen happen across browser stack? And then now, since you've been working in this website scanner product of browser stack, our customers, like, are there some issues that you often see come up?
Yes, yes, yeah. So there could be issues like, let's say, if a button is not working because some external link that which we have linked in our website some time back, the external link is not functional anymore, right? So there could be issues with these broken links, or there could be issues like um, there could be problems with visual regression. There could be some font changes that you did not intend, but it crept into your production and it went unnoticed, right? Or your page speed could change because of these constant updates. And because we do scheduled monitoring and audits of these performance tests, so it might be some time before we catch this, right? And also, we also do like regular accessibility audits, but it becomes difficult to make sure that the first time you send your page to production, it is accessible and it is WCAG compliant, right? These are some of the very common issues that we see in websites.
Got it. Got it.
Some of these orgs have a dedicated QA team, whereas like some teams they rely only on developers for QA, right? So we see that there are few companies that are like completely reliant on manual testing. There are a few organizations who have done basic automation or like automation for their very critical pages, like the home page, the checkout page, their pricing page, where there is a lot of traffic or the pages that directly impact their conversions. And we've also seen a few customers invest very heavily into automation. So, but this completely depends on the scale of the website, the kind of website that the customer has, right? What is their release frequency, and what is the ROI that they are getting from automating or like spending on QA on these websites, right?
Got it. And again, do you see a difference or some sort of how teams approach functional testing versus how teams approach non-functional checks, like checking for visual regressions or accessibility or broken links? Like, is there a dissonance there as well?
Yeah, so what we have observed is like most of the teams focus very heavily on functional testing, whereas like a lot of these non-functional tests, like if there is any visual regression or if there is any accessibility miss, right? Most of these things go unnoticed, and these things they impact a lot of things. They impact the customer experience, they impact your search engine rankings, and these things are generally caught very late, right? So it becomes very difficult to catch these kinds of regressions very early, which are non-functional.
Got it. And but I'm assuming, of course, if every team that is building a website understands that all of these issues matter, right? Everybody understands that they have to check for these, as you said, for improving their search rankings, for maintaining their customer experience. But why doesn't everybody go for automation, right? Why can't everybody build out automations for this, right? It would solve their issues. It would let them operate with a smaller team size. But why not?
Yeah. So at the surface, automation sounds great, right? Why not? Why don't we automate everything? So there is no issues anymore in your website. But in reality, it's not that simple. So most of these automation tools, right, they require complex setup, they require custom code, and there is also overhead of ongoing maintenance. So, and that is one part of it, that the effort required is very, very high. But it also creates a lot of friction in the process. So, especially for non-dev teams like marketing or design who are regularly involved with the website, right? It becomes very difficult for them to understand these processes and ship updates. So, this creates frictions for them. So, that is the reason why it becomes very difficult to go for complete automation.
Got it. But I think there is and as we've been working together on this product and we've been talking to customers, I've seen another sort of category of customer surface, right? One is completely manual, the other has built out automation. But then there is a category of customers that have their functional test automated, maybe, but for their non-functional tests they're using some sort of free checkers or free tools, right? Maybe some free tool to check the page speed if they've made a change in a particular page, some free tool to check for the accessibility issues, some free tool to check for visual check. Like, they have these different free tools that they go ahead, or freemium tools. They might have to sign up for a free trial, maybe run, they would be allowed to run 50 scans, and they end up using these, right? What are your thoughts about these free tools? Do these really solve the problem? Is there an issue there?
Yeah, so free tools, it might seem like they're very easy to start with and they're very convenient, but they come with a lot of hidden costs. So we have tried a bunch of free tools ourselves, and we are like very aware of these hidden costs, right? So, for example, like a lot of these free tools, they only cover a subset of these issues. So it becomes very difficult to figure out like which issues the tools cover and which issues they don't. And any of these things like creeping into production can be very costly, and they also have like very limited integrations, and let's say they might work for a very small website, but they often don't scale very well. That is one aspect of it. The other thing is you will have to use multiple free tools to do all of these non-functional checks, and at the end you will be stitching together results of this all of these checks manually, and you might miss a lot of issues, and you might have blind spots in this process, which can become even costlier, right?
Got it. And I think one point that you've on your slide here, right, which is prioritization, right? So since it's all spread out, it's all fragmented, there is no prioritization on what issue is going to get me the most bang for my buck, and people end up fixing some low impact issues and missing out on the high impact issues, right? That also sometimes happens, right?
Yeah, right. So the tools are going to give you like a list of issues. And first thing is you're not 100% sure that if it's a comprehensive list. And the second thing is you're not sure like which of these issues are going to be high priority, right? You might get a list of 100 issues, but you might not be able to know which ones to fix first to have the highest impact. That is another downside of these tools, yeah. So we built this website scanner solution to simplify the website QA. So it's a no-code tool that will scan your website for different kinds of issues, like if it has any functional issues, like any broken links or broken CTAs. The tool will check for visual and responsive regression. It will check for accessibility gaps, and it will check for any performance bottlenecks. So all of these different checks happen in one single tool. And the best part is there is no setup needed. So you just have to enter a URL and hit scan. The tool will automatically scan your entire website, and it will give you actionable insights within minutes, right? So when building this tool, our goal is to bring automation level coverage to teams that don't have time or resources to set up all this automation manually, right? Yeah. So that was our goal.
Got it. And I think one important thing to call out for our audience as well, like, this is a brand new tool. We have just launched it. It's been I think a little over a month since we launched this tool, and I think the way Vivek and team have built this is that it works for all kinds of websites, whether you're a news and media website or you have an e-learning website, a brand marketing, e-commerce, booking platforms. It works for it all. And we've seen a lot of interesting teams, even teams with very mature automation setups, come up and use this. They have come up with many types of use cases. Some teams use it just for monitoring. They set up recurring scans that they like to run on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. We have also seen teams, as Vivek was mentioning, some non-technical teams, right? That may have made a change to a page and they just want to quickly check if everything is all right before going live with that page. without consuming a QA engineer's bandwidth. So we have also seen those teams use it. So it's been an interesting all-round set of people, users who have been interested in this solution. I think what would be interesting, Vivek, for our audience as well, is if you can just walk us through this product. How does it work? How does someone use this product on a day-to-day basis? And what I would request our audience is, as Vivek is demoing this, if a question pops up, please type it in the Q&A box. Keep them coming. We'll pick them up as we go, and also share your feedback as well. What do you think is missing in the product? What do you think we could build out that could really solve a use case for you? All of that would be interesting for us. Vivek, you want to take over and just walk us through the solution?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Right. So this is the website scanner product. So here you can, if you want to, you can do like all of these different kinds of tests we have been talking about, right? You could check for accessibility gaps. You could check for visual and responsive regression. You could check for functional issues like broken links, or if your any CTAs or buttons are not working on your website. And you could also check for your front-end performance. So the front-end performance specifically gives you the core web vitals, right, as defined by Google. So this is what these are all the different checks that you can do. And to start doing a check, it's very simple. All you need to do is like enter a URL at the page and click on create scan. And the tool will automatically like go through your entire website and it will give you all the different issues. So you can either like upload your URLs manually, or you could upload your URLs using a sitemap. So let's say I enter my website. So this tool will automatically detect the website sitemap, and it will give like a list of all the URLs in your website. So you can like select the pages that you want to test and click on create scan. So this will scan all these pages and it will give you like actionable insights in each of these different areas, right? And let's also look at like different settings that we have along with this, right? So you can either like run your scans on demand, or you could also make them recurring. You could have like daily, weekly, or monthly recurring scans. You could test sites that are hosted on your local environments. If you have like a local PC in which a lower environment is hosted, you can test it there. If some of your sites requires login authentication to test, right, to access the website, right, you can like bypass that login and you can test. And you can also configure custom cookies. So if you have any cookie consent banners, or if you have any popovers, and you want to dismiss those banners before you start testing your website, right? So those things you can configure here in the cookie configuration setup, and you can dismiss the banners. And coming to the accessibility settings, here you can like select the different versions of WCAG compliance that you want to use. And there are a couple more like minor settings where you can include issues that needs review, or include best practice issues which are beyond this WCAG recommendations. And finally, coming to the visual scan. So sometimes your page might take some time to load, and you would want to take a snapshot of your page uh, after certain elements have loaded, right? So for that, you could add delay. So the scanner will wait for 5 seconds for your page to load, and after that, it will take a screenshot. And similarly for responsive scanning, you can add like multiple resolutions, and you can test like if your website is responsive and works in all of these different resolutions, right? So this is about responsive scanning. So once you create the scan, right, you will be taken to this page where you will have like a list of all the different scans that you've run before. And for each of these scans, so for example, for the scan I just ran some time back, I can see like there are around 310 accessibility issues within 57 components. And this is my accessibility score. And um, I have like five visual changes which are not reviewed. And I have like issues with 26 components, and I have 20 broken links. Uh, Thankfully, I can see that there are no performance issues with my website. And I can also see that for the responsive scan, I have like five changes which are not reviewed. Right. So you get a snapshot of this. And if you want to go and take a deeper look at each of these issues, you need to click on View Report. So let's first look at the accessibility report. So this will tell you all the accessibility gaps that your website has, right? So how many new issues are there? How many issues have been retained from the previous one? How many have been resolved? You'll get your website's accessibility score, the breakdown by criticality of the issue. You will see like a trend of all the issues and how many components are affected, right? And also like what all WCAG standards your website is currently conforming to and what all it is not. You can all see it in one single snapshot. Now, if you want to go and look at the list of issues that your website has, right, you could group them by either the issue type, or you could group them by WCAG guideline. So I can see that like for this particular WCAG guideline, there are three components that have issue. I can click on any of those components and I can see like different details about this particular component. If I want to find that component and fix it, right, I can see a screenshot of that component, the component that has the issue. And I can also see like what issue it has, which WCAG guideline it is referring to, which page this particular component is present in, and how to find that particular component, right? Using the CSS selector and the HTML snippet, you can find that component and you can fix that issue, right? So here we also have like guidelines around how you can fix that particular accessibility issue. So this is regarding the accessibility scanner. And when we go to the visual check, this helps you understand if there have been any changes, visual changes to your website. And it will highlight all those visual changes in red. So you can make sure that issues like this don't get into production, right? If it's an unintended change, you can reject that change and you can get it fixed. And after that, you can ship it. So small layout shifts like this, it's very difficult to catch them manually. So the visual checker is going to scan your website and it will tell you if there are any unintended visual changes. And the next check that we're going to look at is a functional check. So this is going to tell you if you have any CTS or buttons that is not working. So I can see that this button has a particular this particular button has an issue, and this button is currently a part of 7 different pages. So I can go and look at all those pages. And again, it will tell me how to identify that button using the CSS selector and HTML snippet so that I can go and fix that button. Similarly, if you look at broken links, so this will tell you like all the internal and external links that might have been broken and what is the error code. You might get like 4xx error codes or 5xx error codes. On addition to like the page links, this will also tell you if any resources are broken. So for example, if you have a JavaScript that you have included in your web page, or if there is a font or if there is a CSS file which is not accessible. So all those issues, you can find it here in the broken links. The next checker that we are going to look at is a performance checker. So like we discussed, this is going to test your front-end performance using the core web vitals as defined by Google, right? So it will look at the time it took your website to do the largest contentful paint, the total blocking time for your website, the cumulative layout shift when that happened. And there are like a couple of secondary core web vitals that we have here. It will also give you your lighthouse score of each of your pages. So if you want to see like any pages that needs improvement or poor, you can filter from here. You can find those pages and you can go and fix those performance issues. And coming to the final scanner that we have, this is a responsive scanner. So as the name suggests, this scanner will help you figure out if there are any issues with your website in different resolutions, right? Is your website scaling properly for different resolutions? So here you can see that I'm checking my website in a mobile screen. I could see how my website is looking in a normal desktop, or how my website would look like in a white screen. And I can make sure that my website is working fine across browsers and across resolutions without any issues. So this is a quick demo of the product. Over to you, Chandra.
Hey, thanks, Vivek. Cool. I think we have a few questions already and we can start answering those, but I would invite others to go ahead and ask their questions as well. And Vivek, maybe you can check the Q&A tab and we can take these questions one by one. I think it would help if you could also read the questions so that the others also get to know the answers to those. So maybe we could, yeah, you could just take those.
Yeah, sure. So the first question I see here is, will the tool work for websites that is protected with password if I provide the username and password? So yes, absolutely. Currently, we have three different types of authentication. One is the basic authentication where you can provide your username and password, and the second one is a form-based authentication where you have like your username and password within a page, within a single page. And we also support multi-page authentication, similar to ones that you would find at Google, right? You enter your username in one page and your password in another page, right, in the next page. So yes, absolutely. Like you could bypass your login and you could test your websites. Uh, how secure is it to run the app on the tool? So, I mean, like we follow all the security protocols that BrowserStack adheres to, right? SOC 2 and all the different other security protocols. So we don't collect any and store any personal data. So it is very secure to run the app on this tool. Uh, Yeah, SEO checks, how can we do this? Right. So currently we have the broken link checker and CTA checker, but we are also planning to ship a full-fledged SEO checker next. So that is already in the works. What if my site is not exposed in the internet? Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So when we're looking at the demo, right, within settings, we have seen a section for local testing. So that is what this thing is exactly built for. You have a binary that you download to your website, that you download to your local machine. And even if your site is not exposed to the internet, through that binary, the website scanner can access your local website and you can do all the different kinds of checks on your local websites as well. What if my site has login with MFA? So currently we don't support login with MFA. So one thing that you can do as a workaround is, so for this particular user, if you can like disable that MFA for the checks, that would help. But at this point of time, we don't support full-fledged MFA. Do we have any solution for OTP automation if I need to log in using OTP and then scan my apps? Again, like using OTP comes under MFA, which is not currently supported. We will plan to support that soon, but for now, the best thing to do is like disable two-factor authentication for that particular test user and scan your website. What if I need to test my website with multiple user login? So if you want to test your website with multiple user login, right, you can create like two different types of scan configuration for each type of user. And you can run like both of those scan configurations and you should be easily able to test like websites with multiple user logins. And, right. So the next question is there a way for us to know the type of tests that we are conducting during the scan? For example, when I select functional testing, I want to know what functions are going to be tested. Yeah. So all the different types of tests that we support, right? It's already available in the documentation. But I'm going to take this feedback. So within the application, we will try to also mention all the different types of functional tests that we are doing on the website, right? So, but currently at this point, it is available as part of the documentation. Yeah. So how is this different from the NPM Lighthouse package where we also get all the website related metrics like SEO, ADA, and rest others? So one thing is, one problem with the Lighthouse package that is run locally is the consistency of the score. right? Your performance score for Core Web Vitals might be different every time you run the scan. But when you run the tests on BrowserStack, these are routed through Automate, and we make sure that your tests are like not flaky, and you get like a consistent score every time. So you can rely on that score, right? So that is where the difference arises from using this Lighthouse package on your local versus as part of the BrowserStack performance scanner. So with regarding to this testing tool, does this test content with dependencies like accordions, swipers, etc.? So it depends on the type of test actually. So if you're doing like a visual regression test, it's not going to flick through accordions. It will just like scroll your complete page. It will take a screenshot and it will do the regression testing. But if you're talking about a functional test where you want to check for broken CTS and all, even if the CTS are within accordions or swipers, the tool will click and check for like the broken links and broken CTS and all those things. Yes. So we may get to it, but just in case, is there a way to view a single URL from multiple geolocations? And are those locations customizable? So again, this is one more feature which is on our roadmap currently, and we understand that it's very important to check for your website from multiple locations. So there could be multiple reasons for this. So you want to check like how the performance of your website is for your customers in different countries, or you might have like a localized version of your website for different countries, and you want to make sure that all of those different versions are accessible. All of those different versions don't have any visual issues or functional issues. So that is something currently in works, and we would plan to ship like the ability to test from multiple geolocations soon. And do we need to provide each page? So that is the next question. So you don't have to provide each page. You could do that though. You could like add single page, or you could like upload your list of pages using a CSV. Or if your website has like a publicly available sitemap, you could just like put your website URL, and the scanner can scan through your sitemap and like list out all the URLs that are there in the website. And finally, if your website doesn't have a sitemap, we also have a crawler functionality, which is currently in beta. So it will automatically crawl through all the pages in your website, and it will list them, and you can scan those pages. Uh, can the report be exported to Excel or Docs after it is being generated? Yeah, absolutely. You can show all the non-visual checks, right? So visual check, basically you see a screenshot, but the non-visual checks like the performance check, the broken link checker, and the accessibility checks, you can export those reports to Excel. Can we test forms in general? So if a button opens a form, what we can test now is like if the button is working or not. But if you're talking about like filling those forms and making sure that form is submittable, those kinds of tests are currently not supported as part of the website scanner. Those might like fall a little bit into the area of low code automation, and our LCA tool might help there. Can you please provide a sample test that is already automated so we can clone of it and edit to make it work for our site? Starting from scratch would be time consuming, so a template would help. So, within the product, right, you can also see like sample test reports for each of these different types of tests. But that is to give you a flavor of what all issues you might see in your website, right? That is not required for you to actually set up your test. Setting up your test is very, very simple. All you need to do is like just put your URL and click on create scan. It's just two steps. So there is no complexity. There is no need for any other automation of or any other setup. So you wouldn't actually need like a sample um, scan configuration to set up yours. So it is as simple as like entering the URL and clicking on create scan. Yeah. The next question is performance scan available as a free scan? Is there a limitation on how many times website scanner can be scheduled? So performance scanner, it's part of a paid package. There is a 30-day free trial, but it's part of a paid package. But if you opt for the package, right, then there is no limitations on the number of scans. So the lowest frequency that you could set up is like per day. But if you want more than that, you could create like multiple configurations and create multiple scheduled scans. Uh, is this tool a replacement for automated tools like Selenium Cypress, or can we utilize this tool with existing Selenium framework? So, if you have any static web pages, right, there is not a lot of user interaction or like steps that needs to be done manually by user. This tool can replace Cypress or Selenium. But if you want to test like any user interactions, so then you can use this tool along with your existing Selenium framework and functional automation. What are the benefits in using scan product comparing with any code-based automation? Um, so there are like a lot of benefits, right? The time to set up is very less. The cost to set up is almost zero. And with websites like of larger scale, right, there are like updates going on every day, and there could be multiple updates shipping in a day. There could be multiple teams, like your marketing team could be shipping some update. They could be updating it, some content at the same time. Your developers could be updating an existing component, which might impact multiple pages. So when all of this is happening and things are moving at a very high speed, right, it is very difficult to keep track. And continue with code-based automation, right? That is where like this scanner makes it very simple. You don't have to change any configuration. It automatically scans your pages. Even if you are going to add like new pages, the scanner is going to detect that new pages have been added to your website and it's going to check them for all these different types of issues. So it has to do with that simplicity and the cost savings that you get with that, right? So you don't have to maintain any automation setup. Is social login supported? So if your social login just involves a username and password, that is supported. But if it is two-factor authentication, like I said, we don't support it as of now. Will scan work for breakpoints and cross-browser testing? So currently, the visual and responsive scanning, both of them, we check for like visual and responsive issues respectively, right? They work across multiple breakpoints, and you could also check in with multiple browsers like Firefox, Chrome, Safari, and different browsers. But if you're talking about like the other types of scanners like accessibility, the functional scanner or performance scanner, currently we don't allow cross-browser testing with those types of scans. But being said, we're also like thinking of shipping a feature where you could like test for accessibility issues and also functional and performance issues across different viewports. So you could test for these issues on mobile, desktop, wide screens, and like different kinds of resolutions. Would there be a way to trigger a scan through an API or webhook? Again, currently we don't have that feature, but it is definitely there on our roadmap. Can you set up a scan that would run through a workflow through your website? A scan that would interact with each page and components within each page. So if you want to do any interactions with a page or component, that is currently not supported. So this would be a very good fit for like websites if you have like a lot of static pages. For all those static pages, you could rely on the scanner. And for any user interactions, you could continue what you're doing, like either manual checks or function automation. What is the resolution process via BrowserStack if a website scanner test is known to be broken? Example, a button is broken, but a scanner shows it as passing. Is it correct that we have no control over the logic behind the website scanner? So we are constantly trying to improve the logic behind the website scanner. But depending on your particular use case, it might happen that a particular issue that a website scanner has flagged might not be very relevant to you, or it might be the expected behavior of that particular component, right? In that case, you might choose to flag that issue, and you could like mark it to be ignored in the future scans. So in the future scans, the same issue won't be popping up again. So you can ignore any certain types of issues you want. I have Cypress test scripts. If I choose to switch to the BrowserStack, will it be possible for me to utilize those test scripts, or can this provide any code which I can utilize? The website scanner is used for no code automation. So you don't need any code, and whatever code you have, there is no reason to even reuse it for the website scanner, because the scanner is going to automatically crawl through all your websites and all your web pages, and it will give you those issues. So no code is required. Will these scans eventually become integrated with low-code automation where we can have pass-fail steps based on which passes a scan attribute? We don't have any immediate plan for this, but we can definitely prioritize that based on requirements. When there is an error, how much telemetry is provided? So it's again like depends on the type of scanner, right? For accessibility scanner, if there is an error, we will tell you like what WCAG guideline is that particular error breaching, and what are the steps to fix that. If it's a broken link or a broken component, we'll segregate them so you know that the click or the particular link is not working. So that is all. That is the kind of details you get. And if it's a visual or a responsive check, we highlight the issues in red so you can visually eyeball like the issue, and you can see the component that has an issue, and you can fix that. Huh. Pricing, yeah. The next question is like, how does the pricing work? Our apps are single page apps, so how the pricing works? So the pricing is per page as of now. So depending on the number of pages that you have in your website, based on that, you're going to be charged. So can you confirm whether the core web vital metrics shown in your report are lab-based simulated performance like Lighthouse, or field data like a real user experience like Crux? Also, do you apply any specific throttling settings during the test? Yeah, so we the core web vital metrics are currently lab-based. So this is simulated similar to Lighthouse, and we do apply like throttling settings. It will be mentioned in your performance test. This is to make sure that your scores are consistent, and we always test in like a consistent environment, so you get like those stable scores over time. If I'm already using licensed BrowserStack, the website scanner is free with it, or is it a separate product? So if you have license to accessibility, the web accessibility product, you might have access to the accessibility checker as part of the website scanner. But other than that, rest of all these scanners are like available to purchase, and they're not like bundled with any of the existing BrowserStack products. You could like purchase BrowserStack website scanners standalone as well. From a visual test perspective, can the test expand into content with shifts, font changes, poor visibility of contrast for links, and content in swipers accordions, or content in hidden divs containers till they are in view? Yeah. So you can do a lot of these things. Like you can check for like content with shift, font changes. If there is any poor visibility or contrast, that will be passed flagged as part of the accessibility checks. If there is any accordions or contents hidden, um, that also could be handled by passing some custom CSS, which is not a very common case. But also, if there are any accordions, and if you want to wait till a accordion is visible to take a screenshot, that is also possible. The next question is it meant for websites only, or are web apps okay to scan? So you can scan web apps also, as long as like you are checking for like mostly static web applications and there is not a lot of user interaction that is required. You can scan, and for the user interactions, you could think of like a different kind of testing. But the website scanner is mostly like focused towards like static pages. There are some automation that you could do, like dismissing banners or bypassing authentication. But if there is any complex flow, the website scanner might not be able to handle that. Does a visual test allow for establishing a new baseline from the UI change? Yeah, absolutely, you can do that. So the first time you scan, it automatically becomes a baseline. But let's say you do another scan on top of it, if there is any change, and you intend to keep that change, you could create that second screenshot or the subsequent screenshots as the new baselines. Uh, so I think we are running close to the time. Let me uh, take like one more question and we can conclude. So does a tool like check for performance, perform accessibility test scans across responsive breakpoints, including mobile, viewport, or dimensions, or is it restricted to the desktop screen sizes? So currently we restrict it to the desktop screen size, but we also have plans to start supporting different screen resolutions soon. So we're going to support. We're planning to support like multiple screen resolutions for accessibility as well as broken link checks and all these different kinds of checks. The product is available for a free trial for 30 days without any limits. So all the different types of checks are available. There is no limit on the number of pages or the features that are available. So now please head out to the browserstack.com website, try out the website scanner product, and please share your feedback. So we are trying to improve the product every day, and your feedback will be very valuable.
Thanks, Vivek. Thank you to the audience for joining, and then thank you to our team for helping us host this session. And we'll see you around for the next one. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.